Hello and welcome to another episode of Golden Heart Pirates at the Lounge. I am your host, Captain Waffle of the Golden Heart Pirates, and this is our guest today, Prometheus Cantrell, the owner of Draconis Flow, as well as the first mate of the Golden Heart Pirate ship. How are you doing today, bud?
Doing really good. Good to meet everybody.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Honestly, it's been a beautiful day so far. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. So,
It's a
being
gorgeous day
the
out.
owner of Draconis Flow, what does it mean to you to be a flow artist? And to describe flow arts a little bit for those who don't know.
To kind of explain it, flow arts to me is like learning how to hold a paintbrush for the first time. And then once you learn how to hold the paintbrush and how to use this canvas of paint, you can start drawing these beautiful scenery, these beautiful pictures for everyone, you know. I love to take an audience member and see that focus in them and just captivate them and just blow them away.
And truly, you can do some amazing stuff. We've been flowing together for a few years now, and it has been some of my favorite highlights, especially us going up to the Haunted Mansions of Albion, which we will be doing again this year. If you want to catch Draconis Flow and us flowing, spinning some fire, it'll be the 17th and 24th at the Haunted Mansions of Albion in Albion, Idaho. Catch some links down below, and we'll be able to get you some tickets, and hopefully we'll see you there. Speaking of, though, we've been doing that for the last couple of years. What's your favorite part about it, to be able to go perform for a few hundred, if not a few thousand people?
Honestly, you know, like, it's really an amazing experience to be able to perform for thousands of people. But my favorite part about the whole thing is getting to do it with my very close friends. Like, getting to look at people who I've known a big portion of my life and look at what we're doing and just know that we're literally creating this thing for all these people is just, you know, my favorite part.
Yeah, definitely, and especially the looks on the little kids' faces when they see
Yeah.
somebody bending fire for the first time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we're real-life fire benders. You ever see Avatar?
Oh yeah,
That
I
is
love
super
doing
fucking
it for
cool.
the little kids. There's this that level of amazement. Kids don't reserve themselves at all. Adults are like, "Oh, I can't be as amazed as I actually am," and show that. Little kids are like, "What? What? How did you do that?"
Why? How is that real fire?
Right.
That is probably my favorite question that we get
What
asked
is
up
not real fire?
there. I mean, that's a solid question. I mean, like little flags or the LEDs that look like fire but aren't real fire. But I mean, technically,
if
isn't
you see a flame trail and like the licks of the flame, how is that? I don't know. Someone should invent not real fire that looks like real fire. Then I'll understand that question.
But what about cold fire? I mean, could you imagine
I
props
don't think
wicked with
that
like cold
exists.
fire? I mean, come on, science, make this happen for us. Make it
I
happen.
don't
It'd be
think
so
that
cool.
exists. Fire is the temperature and color that it is due to the temperature it is.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's something out there that might be able to make not real fire, but fire. I'm gonna put some air quotes around that one because
I mean, we do have a friend that his poi from like 100 yards away looks like fire, but then you get like, you know, 20 yards away and it's obviously electronic. You see like the digitization among the image.
yeah, but that's just because of the human's eye ability to focus upon things at a large enough range. But
I thought it just had bad eyesight.
that's also equally a possibility. Equally a possibility, my friend. But going forward, as far as the things that we do for flow and being able to bring that to an audience, as it is an art form in and of itself, much like a painting like we have up here, you're able to create all of these intricate shapes, and a lot of them are based in sacred geometry, which is truly wonderful. I don't know, it's almost as though you're a bit of a wizard in casting a spell. Which one's your favorite?
What do you mean? Like which spell is my favorite?
No, which particular trick? Can you describe it?
Yeah, so it's a half Steve to full matrix. So the staff goes down the outside of my arm, it hits my neck, I do a beat on the back of my shoulder blades, and then it comes around my arm and on my body, and then I start rolling it around, and then I take it down to my foot. I really like that one because the staff is doing all these rotations, and from the untrained eye, it doesn't make any sense how I'm controlling it.
Yeah. It's just some wild magic for sure.
Yeah.
And for those of you who absolutely have no idea what he just said in that, we'll have a video posted down below. That way you can check it out for yourself. For sure, for sure. Well, then a little bit further on, what inspires you to continue along this path? What makes you want to create this magic, this experience for people to be able to view in a whole new light?
Two things keeps me going in this. When I inspire others to pick up a hobby that they never knew of, and now they've discovered something that brings this peace to their heart, that being that inspiration for others is one thing that massively helps me to continue doing this. The other thing is the peace that I bring myself and what I can do to express my emotions, my frustrations, my grief, my happiness, my joy, all through this art form. Really keeps me going. In the words of Bob Ross, there's no such thing as mistake, just happy accidents.
Absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, flow arts really are like meditation and flow, a meditation in motion. To be able to continue to move and create these repetitive actions as you do, it helps with your own train of thought, your own breathing, your own mental state as you continue to flow through. There are moments where you could be going through some serious hardships and you're able to just kind of flow through them, grow through them. And that's truly an amazing experience, something that I've grown to know and love about flow arts as well, and something that I've seen you truly experience and showcase to other people. It's a really unique art form.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about it is that if somebody is like, say, an alcoholic, it takes them away from their alcoholism because you can't be super drunk and be this intricate painter among physics, and so it's saved people's lives, learning this passion that they never had before.
And it's definitely something that's amazing to be passionate about. And to be able to show that and be able to share that with different people is a wonderful skill. And it's not only a wonderful skill, but just a wonderful thing in general, because of the amount of smiles that it brings, the love and core of what it is. But being the owner of Draconis Flow, I'm sure that comes with its own set of hardships, organizing different performers and making sure that you have everything going off for a show. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's it like? What's it like being the man behind the scenes?
Honestly, the hardest thing about being an owner of a group like this, right, is that I'm working with only artists. And so it's honestly like trying to herd angry raccoons. They just do whatever they want, and you eventually get them in the right spot, and then they're doing things, and you're like, yes, okay, sweet. Other than that, it really, the biggest struggles I face is getting that exposure and getting my craft and my art to be able to be out there and expressed. Promoting and advertising and marketing are all super tricky things in the day and age that we are in. It's a technology generation where everybody is on Facebook. Well, then if I have to pay for this Facebook ad, how can I get it to go to the right people when there's no such thing as flow arts to Facebook?
Yeah, it is a very limited atmosphere for a lot of people that don't know what flow arts are. And that's also why I want to be able to bring some notoriety to it, to be able to showcase what it is for a lot of different people who have never seen it or people who think that it might not be a part of their culture. It's something that actually originated as a training form for Kiwi Islanders way back when. As the musculature that's used for it is a lot of the same musculature that's used for archery and hunting.
See, but what I would say is that traditional Islander spinning is not flow arts. That isn't a freedom of expression. That isn't you creating sacred geometry. For them, it was spinning really fast.
And also with heavier weights in order to be able to strengthen those muscles. But the concept is still there. As an artistic form, to be able to show it for what it is now, whole different ballgame. Especially if you look at like the artistic forms of flow versus like Islanders or Hawaiian flow artists and stuff like that. It's just different leagues, different existent moves, and the flow style that is there is just, it's different, but same, but different.
See, but I more consider traditional styling to be a focus upon tradition and history, whereas flow arts is absolutely about freedom of expression and sacred geometry and what you can create through that movement, whereas the traditional styling of spinners wasn't about what you can create with movement. It was just showing off how fast you can move.
That's true. And now I'm speaking about poise specifically when I'm talking about Islanders and their styles. There are also many different martial styles that exist too. Staves, there's also a dragon staff, which is big long staff with some spokes on the end, creates some amazing wheels, but I'll let him talk a little bit more about that one.
The dragon staff's super cool. And with the traditional Islanders, most of them were spinning Maori knives before they were ever spinning poi. Maori knives are about yay long and super sharp. They're used for cutting coconuts. Then when a child spins, he gets his first Maori knife at the age of 6. And then he lights fire at the age of 11. Super cool.
I don't know. I'm more confident spinning fire than I could say that I would be with knives, but I'd still send it.
I mean, we also use a fuel that's relatively safe, and we're very conscientious about it, whereas traditional islanders were using whatever they could use that would ignite, and maybe it was some, tar that they'd created, and that tar would be super bad to touch you, because then it's literally burning into your flesh.
Yeah, it'd be horrifying. I've definitely burned myself a couple of times, and it is not a fun experience.
Oh yeah, if you play with fire, expect to be burned.
And leading to me to my personal favorite quote, lest we forget, we dance with fire. Step on her toes and she'll slap you in the face. It's real. It's real. But back to the dragon staff, though.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a different flow form than a traditional staff. I'd describe it a little bit more like water. It flows more fluidly as it rolls across your body. What inspired you to get into that versus just spinning a traditional staff?
Honestly, so spinning a traditional staff, you're creating all these shapes and you're rotating the staff along all these points. But with a dragon staff, you're spinning the staff while you're spinning the staff. And that sentence alone is what hooked me on a dragon staff.
It's a solid sentence, but to describe that a little bit further for our audience, spinning while spinning, how does that work?
So it's spinning on a vertical point. So imagine if you've got a barbershop pole, it's spinning like this and you can see the spirals.
Right.
Well, then I'm also spinning it the other direction while maintaining that spiraling.
Right, so the staff itself is continuing its own rotation as you're spinning it around your body and maneuvering it to different points.
Yeah, exactly.
There are some amazing techniques and some really good still life photography that you can get with it. I think my personal favorite is similar to the Steve roll that he was talking about earlier, but it essentially creates like a fire crown above your head. There's like an absolutely amazing just geometric pattern in a full circle.
Yeah.
Which is just super crazy.
Yeah, you do that with the Steve roll.
That is with the Steve roll?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's on the shoulder point. You just capture that extra beat that it does on your shoulders. Because in comparative to a regular staff, when it hits your neck and you roll it around, the dragon staff, because it's rolling, when it gets to the other side of your neck, if you don't drop your head and allow it past, it's rolling into your neck.
Right.
So you have to allow it to go past so that rotational energy allows it to roll down your arm.
Which is really unique and honestly hard to conceptualize. Even though it's understandable, it's one of those things you kind of just have to see to believe. Like I said, we'll have some videos down below, that way you guys can check it out. For those of our audience members of our Golden Heart Pirate crew that want to get into flow arts, how would you recommend they start?
Honestly, play with it all. But just play around. Don't dedicate yourself to anything until you find that art form that just sinks. And then once you do find that art form that sinks, go out and explore and find a master, on a YouTube video or a Facebook group, and watch a master, because that master will completely destroy every concept you had of this thing you're learning and make you realize the art that you could create. But also remember that everybody is their own dragon, and your art form and your expression is what makes your flow as unique and beautiful as it can be.
Which is truly wonderful. Well, thank you for being on our show today. Once again, I am Captain Waffle, and this has been Prometheus Cantrell, owner of Draconis Flow and first mate of the Golden Heart Pirates. Thanks for being here, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we're out.